Eyes up. Okay. Once again. So now we've got the collar back on, but this is what it's going to look like when we're ready to take the walk. And you also got to see how it works if the prong collar should pop off. Your dog's still with you, which, like I said, it costs you maybe $1, maybe $1.50, and it keeps your dog safe. And I think it's a pretty worthy investment. And the extra second it takes to clip on, super easy. So what I'll do is, if you're in the training process and you're gonna have your dog wear your prong collar around the house, just take it all the way out when you're done, when you come home, and you're gonna let your dog drag around the leash. If you're past that process, what I do is I just say, you know, you come home from your walk, I'll just take it off of this and leave it actually on the prong collar like that, and then I hang it up and then we're good to go. So it only takes you literally half a second to get your dog all fitted out and super safe. So that's a medium and showing you how to do the carabiner right there. Now I'm going to show you a small. Bell is kind of in between. You could definitely get away with using a small on Bell if you wanted to. It's kind of dainty and ladylike, but she's, you know, it's a decent fit. I know some trainer friends of mine that recommend smalls on almost all sizes of dogs. So it really comes down to personal preference. Me personally, I'm not so crazy about the smalls. I prefer the feel and the pop and the mechanics of the medium on most dogs. So different strokes for different folks. Whatever works for you, it's up to you. Like I said, I would on Bell, I prefer a medium and go without the small. But I just want to demonstrate the small on her. So once again, we got the small on. Now we take a look at that fit. That's a bit loose for me, right? So we know as she walks, it's going to start to slide down further. Let me have her sit up. Belle, come here. Sit. Thank you. That's going to give us a better little indication. So you can see as she walks, this is going to start to slide down like this, right? And we're getting into the less effective and less effective area on the dog's neck. So that tells me, okay, that's too loose of a fit. So bring it back up here. Take it off. Now we're going to size it down one. So we take a look. I'm going to pull one of these out. And it doesn't really matter, just to give you guys a quick little tip, it doesn't really matter where you pull it out, but if you've already taken a few out of this side, sorry, I'm talking too much. If you've already taken a few out of this side, I would balance it out and take one out of this side. You don't want to have it like, you know, like this. So try and keep your collar as balanced as you can because you're really looking to have this sit more down the middle of your dog's neck. So, I'm going to take one of these babies out. Belle, come here. Belle. Thank you. Now once again, when I go to put this on, start at the top of the neck. Now if I've got this sized right and I try and put it on lower, it's going to be too snug even to get started and slide it up. So always start right here at the tip top. Boom. Now take it, 2 fingers, one on this side, one on the opposite side, and slide it. So we get that. If you just do it 1 finger, you see how it starts to turn the dog's neck and becomes uncomfortable? But if I take 2 fingers, I can slide it like this and create all this motion. It doesn't bother her at all. So now, and then I'll also take, see how I take the fur? I'm pulling the fur out from under. So I'm actually kind of seating the collar onto Belle's neck a little bit more deeply. So there we, or I should say more securely rather than deeply. So I'm actually using her own fur to kind of help keep it where it's at. So you go around the neck, boom, pull it out like that, and then do this side. Now we've got ourselves an awesome fit. So and then I would put my leash on with Belle. Like this. Leash is on, and then I would take my trusty carabiner. I'd find the dead ring. There's the dead ring. Get this on. Turn our other collar. Boom. Now we're locked and loaded and ready to rock. So now, of course I take this tag off. It's just to show you this new fancy one. That's new and fancy. So now I'm ready to walk with Belle on a prong collar. that's properly fitted and also has a safety backup with the carabiner on it. So now we're in a good space. Once again, if it's a little bit looser, if your dog doesn't happen to have just the right fit, then you're going to have to adjust this, you know, as you're doing your walk. If you start to see it sliding down, make sure you adjust it back up. And if you keep your leash kind of short like this, when you walk your dog, it'll actually help keep the collar in place. But if you do it super loose like this, then it's going to have a tendency to fall down. So I always walk dogs with a shorter leash like this, so where there's just a tiny bit of wiggle room with the leash. So when I give corrections, it's real easy, boom, like that. And the dog is less inclined to wander away. Plus, it also keeps the collar right where I want it. So, 1 second, young lady. 1 second. I'm going to take this off. So, that's Belle with the small. Once again, demo this. Here's, let me take the leash off so it's easy to see. So here's the D-ring with the swivel. Here's the dead ring. We're going to take the carabiner off. So there's that. They do look similar, so make sure you put it on the right one on the D-ring. And then you can pick any one of these links to open up from, right? So I'll show you that once again. Now, like my friend Jeff, he always uses this. He calls it a pressure plate and uses this. I think for him it's a good, comfortable way to open up, so you can put your fingers there and do this. So that's one way to do it. So you can hold this little plate, and then we squeeze and put it in like that, right? So again, hold this little plate. Take this, I'm going to push up. Notice here, I don't know if you can see it, maybe that's a better angle. Push up, I create a little bit of slack, and then I slide up and squeeze. Now you could also, if you're super tough, you can just try and force it out, you know, like that. So everybody will find their own way. But I don't use this, but it's a method that you can definitely try. It's something that I just want you to find whatever feels most comfortable for you. What I do is, I'll grab a link like this, hold it like that. If you're right-handed, then I want you to do it like this. If you're left-handed, you'd go over to this side, because it's going to be your main squeezing hand. It's going to be this one. So once again, you can pick this. I can start here. I can start here. I can start here. I don't recommend doing these links at the very end. They're harder to do. So just pick one of these in here. Hold it. Squeeze. Once again, take it from the bottom. Slide up. Create some slack right here. Then I slide my fingers up. Squeeze and pull out, right? So we're going to do that again. I'd say we do it in slow-mo, but I don't think we have slow-mo capacity. So when I go to put it back in, make sure you take your fingers for leverage and put them like that, right at the lowest part. So now it's easy for me to squeeze. If I do it up here, I got to work really hard to squeeze this. So start low. Got your other length that you're going to put it in. And the best strategy and the easiest, I mean, if you've got a small like this, you can probably just squeeze it easy, you know, and just put it both in. But on some of the bigger collars, medium, and if you're going to use a large, which I'm not recommending that you do, but if you're using a medium, what you want to do is, and I'll demo it on a medium as well, you can start with the far end like this and use that as leverage to push against, right? So you push against that, it's much easier to push with your thumb. So I'll put the far end and squeeze. That's really easy. Now when you do it a bunch of times, it looks like this, right? So I said slow-mo, but I actually did speed it up mo. So I'm going to try it real slow. So here we are to put it back in. Start the far side, squeeze. Taking it out, push up, we got the nice gap, slide the hand up, hold this, squeeze, and we're out. So that's the small. Let me show you that with the medium real quick. Same rules apply. You can do it here, the pressure plate. Maybe the light's better on this way. The pressure plate, you can push, create some slack, and pull it out. I tell you, for me, that feels harder. So maybe I'm just a baby, but that feels hard to me. So then you squeeze and you put it back in. I'm telling you, that's a tough gig. But here's the exact same method I used on the small with the medium. Hold this link right here like this. Let it fall down. Of course, if it's on your dog's neck, it'll be more like this rather than like this. But slide up, create slack, slide your hand up, squeeze, and pull. Going to put it back in. Get your hands low on it, squeeze. Once again, I'm going to turn the angle so you can see. Start with the far end, just the very tip of it, and then push, or squeeze I should say, and then you're in. Once again, I'll now do it fast. This is what it looked like once you've got a hang on it, or got a handle on it, and got the hang of it. So that's what that's going to look like. Boom, 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 boom. Slow-mo. It's a terrible slow-mo. Sorry. Production qualities are production values are very low here. So that's that. Let me show you real quick the micro, which is for really small dogs. So the micro isn't made by Hermspringer. The micro is made, where do they make these, in China or Taiwan? This is made in Taiwan. Unfortunately, I don't know if Hermspringer are making a micro. I've heard word that they might have at some point. Maybe they discontinued it. But as far as I know, from where I've looked and ordered and asked, this is the only place, or the only micro that's available is the one from overseas. So this one actually, even though it's made from overseas, it's got fairly soft links. They're not as perfect as the Hermspringer, but they're not as dastardly as they could be. So once again, Hermspringer's best, but if you got a really small dog, then this is one of our next options that we go with. So here we go. Nice tiny little micro. You can use this on, we use it on teacup Yorkies, we use it on, we've got a teacup Chihuahua over there, tiny. Mars is a tiny little Chihuahua and walks like a champ on this. So we use this on any really small dog. So the trick, the challenge with this one, excuse me, I'll say that again. The challenge with this one is that it's so small that sometimes it's hard for people just to manipulate getting on and off their dog. So it works really well, but like I said, the challenge is just getting your own mechanics together with it. It's going to be the same principle that we use to get the Hermspringer on and off. This one doesn't have a pressure plate in the middle, or I think that's Jeff Gellman's just coined term, pressure plate. But it doesn't have the middle piece that actually divides and sends the links opposite direction like that. So this is just what we get with the micro. Take it, got this link right here, slide up, create some slack. It's tough. I'm actually going to push down like this. Apparently I don't know how to do this. There we go. So same strategy applies to put it back in. You're going to take this, get low on it, squeeze. Boom, we're in. To get it out, create that slack, and then pull out. Once again, it's more challenging than the bigger ones. You'd think it'd be easier with the small ones, but it's more challenging.